Hi, this is Tom Jacobs. I'm an evolutionary astrologer, psychic medium, and channel. Find me on the web at TomJacobsPlutoVirgo.avi. This is the second in a series of videos about Pluto generations. Outside of evolutionary astrology, it's not given that much attention, but within evolutionary astrology, which tracks how people change over time, including over the course of many lives, Pluto becomes very, very important. It becomes more important than just an outer planet that affects us psychologically or has some kind of effect. It's incredibly important. And I've taken what has been done in evolutionary astrology thus far and taken it to the next level by working with some ascended masters about what soul really is. And Pluto, as you'll find in the previous video, there's a Pluto and Leo video that already is posted here on this channel. And so I explain kind of the whole series intro. But Pluto represents the empowerment journey of any soul while it's living its human lives. So go check that video out. If you want, even watch it first before this one, just to get that full 5 or 8 minute explanation. So Pluto and Virgo are the births from roughly 1958 to 1971 and some in 1972. And this is the soul level intention that the individuals in this generation share that has to do with being of service. It has to do with improving things, and that tends to look a lot like being of service because they can see what's wrong. They can see what's wrong in you, in me. They can see what's wrong in society. They can see what's wrong at their jobs. They can see what's wrong. And they have this need to make a difference, to make a positive impact. So it ends up being a lot about service. If you think about stereotypes of service when it comes to Virgo, there are servants and there are nurses and that kind of thing. And but what I want to put your attention on is that it's about a need at the soul level to make something better. The most analytical and the most observant people belong to this generation. And this is basically Pluto through one of Mercury's lenses being supercharged mercurial energy. And so they have the intention of being of service and improving something. Well, think about the different kinds of human contexts over time where that happens. As I said, there's being a servant, being a nurse. There's also slavery, which is an option of exploring a Pluto and Virgo journey, as well as other Pluto generations. But ultimately, one of the main intentions of the soul here is not just to improve something, be of service, but in so doing, becoming humbled. Like basically learning how to sacrifice certain elements of personality, learning how at times to sacrifice desires for a goal, learning how to sacrifice individual desires for a group effort. And also, Virgo is also the sign where we explore inequality. The next sign, Libra, is about exploring equality. Not that we always have it in Libra, but Virgo is really specifically about exploring things where things are unequal. For example, you and I are friends. I can do certain things for you that you can't do, and our friendship may actually be based on the fact that I can help you out. Well, that would be a kind of Virgo kind of energy. And that would be a service-oriented improvement energy. If we learn how to give and take, then it evolves into a Libra kind of energy. But so what happens in these different contexts is that people, in the spirit of being of service, actually get themselves into dynamics in every arena of life that leave them feeling less than. So it's basically, I want to be, the soul says I need to be of service, and I'm going to explore all these human realities where I'm actually going to also, even though I'm being of service, I'm also going to learn about humility. So we can just know for certain that whenever somebody intends to learn about humility, sometimes they are humiliated. That's part of the journey. So with the people with Pluto and Virgo in this roughly 13 or 14 years of births, they are dealing with a soul level intention to be specific, to be perfection oriented, to improve things, to be of service, to make the world a better place in some way, or the community or themselves even, make something better. They need to. But they're dealing also at the same time with layers of emotional debris and garbage, karmic baggage, over that has to do with being disempowered through service, being humiliated, and sacrificing their own will to the point that they feel absolutely unimportant. So that's what a lot of these people were dealing with. Virgo also has to do with taking duty and taking responsibility. And so you have the most responsible people in this generation, and you have the least responsible people in this generation. Think about the people you know who are this in this age group, and even if it's you, think about yourself and understand that all of these people are dealing with memories of being humiliated through service, and also some of them have memories of serving but not really being able to make a difference, so kind of feeling ineffectual. And what that can lead to, and this is another major thing, especially in the clients I seem to draw over the last few years who have Pluto and Virgo, there is this sense of not having been good enough, so therefore perhaps not deserving love. And if you dig into why not good enough, why do you feel that way, it's about something that they couldn't achieve. So there's a giant thing with this generation about learning how to accept that perfection does not exist. Now, the soul is is wired to have this person say, each of these people say, I need to make something better, and I need to base my self-confidence, I need to base my empowerment as a human in the ability to improve something and be of service. But then you have the human emotions that come from not being able to do that. And that's one of the ways of being disempowered through service. Humiliation is one way. People telling you that what you do is the only thing you're good for. I can feel some of you nodding about that in your own stories and those in your life. And but there's another thing, the disempowerment is in actually not achieving what one set out to do, and then putting pressure on the self for having not done it right. So there is an enormous invitation, you're hereby extended, if you have this signature, this Pluto and Virgo, to accept, A, that perfection is not possible, B, that you're a human learning about what it means to take responsibility for things. Sometimes when you take responsibility for things, you can't follow through. Sometimes you take up a duty, you can't follow it through. Sometimes you can see perfection, but you don't have the energy to finish. Sometimes the human reality of your emotional needs and your family commitments and other things interfere with perfection. So accept that there's no perfection. Accept that everything that you have done is, in fact, a part of your learning journey as goddess and God and divine source, divine intelligence, all that is, learning how to be human through the lens of desiring to be of service, of needing to be of service. So all these people need to serve, and yet they need to do it in the right ways, for the right reasons, on their own terms. Again, this idea of developing humility or being humiliated, choose to develop humility and you will actually feel very satisfied. If you are in the space of refusing to do that, and other factors in your chart will tell us about that, but if you're refusing to do that, please understand that could be sourced in having chosen humility so often that it feels humiliating. So there's kind of some stuff to dig through here with any Pluto generation, but with this. This morning I was having a conversation with somebody, and I'd already intended to do this video, but I was just looking at and somebody with Pluto and Virgo I was speaking with this morning, and then I also did a Soul's Journey soundbite reading a few minutes ago for somebody with Pluto and Virgo in the 6th house, and so these themes are kind of surrounding me the last few days as I've been intending to do this video. But there's this major element of observing what's actually going on, and this is actually one of the superhero powers that Pluto and Virgo people have, observation, critical observation, really seeing what's happening. But then making a choice based in grounded reality about what can and can't be done. And then understanding that if you can't do something, it's not because you're not worthy as a person. It's not because you deserve to fail or to not be loved. It's that you are learning about what is possible to do by taking responsibility for things. So forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for all of it, for everything. And accept that everything you've done so far is a learning journey of God and Goddess learning about how to do Virgo. So I mentioned the Soul's Journey soundbite reading. This is a really amazing thing that it turned out to be more amazing than I had intended, than I thought it might be. And it's a 15-minute MP3 or video reading like this, and it is specific about your birth chart. I use the 4-step analysis that I explained in my book, The Soul's Journey 1, astrology, reincarnation, and karma with the medium and channel. And that is Pluto as the deepest intentions and desires of the soul, or the soul's empowerment journey as humans. The second step being the south node of the moon and all its sign, house, and aspects. And that talks about the kinds of families that are chosen again and again by the soul to train you how to be human. And so that's a conditioning. A lot of karmic conditioning comes through that because you're trained to see the world from the earliest age, through a certain lens. The third step of the analysis is the South Node ruler by sign, and that tells me about your role in various environments. So if the South Node is Sagittarius, I look to Jupiter. If the South Node is Scorpio, I look to Mars. I use traditional rulerships usually for this. And that tells us about your role and the particular pressures on you, the particular talents you show up as, and kind of how your karmic history differs from the karmic history that you share with your family, kind of adding layers. And the fourth step, the North Node of the Moon. What is it that's been left out of your soul's journey because your family couldn't teach you? And how can you accept that your family couldn't teach you what you needed to learn? Because you keep picking them to be, according to the South Node symbolism. So that... you have the option of a 15-minute MP3 or a 15-minute video, and this is a fantastic gift. This is the feedback I've gotten from people who've ordered it the last few weeks and received theirs already is that they can't believe how much information is jam-packed into 15 minutes. But it's an overview of your soul's journey. It's a lot of information. And I do give you some tips and tricks to change the beliefs, which are karma, to change the karma that go with certain signatures. And I want this to get out to as many people as possible. So get one for yourself, tell your friends, get one for your mom or for your sister or your kid. Give them as gifts. This is an incredible thing, $20 for 15 minutes. Given my normal hourly rate, that's an incredible deal. And I want this information I want information about your soul in your hands as much as possible, which is why I've made it so affordable. So the MP3 is $20 for 15 minutes, and the video, which requires more technical work, is $25 for 15 minutes. So see my site. It's option 1 on the store page under the consultations or sessions. And I turn it around in a week. So here we are, about 6 weeks away from big holiday gifting time, and this is what do you give somebody? Give somebody the gift of insight and self-understanding. So find me on the web at TomJacobs.com. I'm an evolutionary astrologer, psychic medium, and channel. My name is Tom Jacobs. Thanks for watching.